I'm going to be interested to see what my friend Jason Cole has to say here, our Pro Football Insider and our NFL Hall of Fame voter. I want to get what he thinks of this whole Jalen Carter thing. And before you say anything, Jace, I want to throw this at you. Here's my opinion of it. And you go from there with this. To me, it's an unfortunate situation. He lied. And I thought about me going to the combines. Would I lie? Probably. Because I knew that I had so much to lose and I put myself in a stupid situation. I thought, would Jerome Brown lie? Probably. Is it right? No. Not making excuses. Unfortunately, someone died in this thing. Was he the cause of it? According to the Athens police, he wasn't. He's going to fall because we see this all the time. If I'm the Eagles at 10, he clears, I'm drafting him. I'm going to take him. I'm not going to pass on the kid. If Deshaun Watson and other people can be cleared, and I get this situation here, there was an unfortunate scenario, but Tracy Rocker recruited him. He's the D-line coach in Philly. Jordan Davis was at Georgia with him. N'Kobe, talk to Kirby. If you're cool with it, the only issue I have, Jason, is this: his decision-making and the fact that he knew first week of March he was going to be at the combines. Why would you put yourself in this position? Put all that through a strainer and tell me what you would do.
I'd draft him, and I wouldn't think a lot about it. I mean, like, there are consequences he's going to have to pay and issues he's going to have to deal with. And if you think that he's going to spend some extended period of time in jail, then you do have to say, okay, I got to, I might have to wait a little bit. But I think, this is an accident. The lie is not an accident, but certainly what initially happened is this is not either premeditated or continual. It's sort of a one-time thing that happened. And, it's not something that a lot of players or people who work in the NFL or who are just in society don't do in given situations. It's tragic and it's awful. And I don't think he's the number one pick anyways, but I'm still drafting him. This is not, it doesn't even concern me as much as a guy testing positive at the combine. Like, I always look at, if you test positive at the combine, you're a dope.
You're just that Randy Gregory will always be a centerpiece for me, Jason, because I'm like this. The folks at Nebraska said, don't smoke weed for the combines. He did it anyway. I mean, dude, that's a problem. That's why I would not draft him, is because they told him.
Right. I mean, this is, and I'm not saying that this is equivalent to that. Okay?
I know.
This is a serious thing. Somebody lost their life, but this is not. It's not quite the same thing where you're going, okay, does this person have continual judgment problems in the face of obvious advice? He did something that a lot of us do. I've done that, right? I'm lucky that I'm alive based on how fast I've
Jason,
driven in the past.
told a story that Jerome had a Grand National and I had a Corvette, and we raced out front of the college at Miracle Mile all the time. And I said, I've been in that situation. Fortunately for me and him, no one died. However, if there was an accident, I thought about myself in that position. If I was going to be a top 5 pick, would I lie? And I said, I probably would, because I was afraid. Isn't that human nature? And then when you find out more, Jace, anybody who has that much to lose, you're going to do something that's not with character.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things where, as a team, you're sitting there going, okay, what'd you do? It makes me pause.
Does?
But at the same time, it would make me pause. If there are two guys on the board who are absolutely equal, and the one guy's clean and the other guy's not, like there's no problems, there's no judgment issues, then I'm taking the other guy. So you lose the tiebreaker in that one. But he's talented enough that he's going to go high in the draft, and will he move back 2 or 3 spots? Maybe. Is he going to drop 2 or 3 rounds? No. Don't be. He's not going to even drop, 10 or 15 picks. It's just not going to happen. Unless, of course, there are some legal issues that entangle him.
Right, unless it escalates. Now, let me ask you about Bryce Young. 5'10 and a half, 190. Jace, let's see, I think we got Jace. Bryce Young, 5'10 and a half, 190.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your number 1 overall pick?
It's tough. It's tough. Wow.
Don't you draft the metrics with that pick?
If all things are equal, you take the bigger guy.
Yes.
If all things are equal. If he's off the charts, the best one in your view, you take him. But I think that, like, among those 3 guys, and I include Levis in this group, Stroud, and I know Levis did not have a great year, but I still include him in this group.
I do too.
I do not include Richardson in the group, but I'm taking if I think they're equal or even a shade different, I'm taking the bigger man. And I know everybody's like, 5'10" quarterbacks or 5'11" quarterbacks can make it. Yeah, they can. Guys who are 190 pounds also? No.
See, Jason,
that's the combo. The combo problem is not only is he small, he's skinny.
But
that's
here's the deal. When people go, well, the NFL has had people that have succeeded at 5'10" and under, and I went, yeah, but how many were first rounders? Tarkington wasn't. What's his name? Sonny Jurgensen wasn't.
Drew Brees.
Flutie wasn't.
Russell Wilson
was a third. This is the first pick in the draft, Jace. This isn't a third rounder here. That's a big pick. But we're talking about the first pick in the draft here.
Size matters at a certain point. It really does. I mean, if you expect that guy to play 12 to 15 years,
I don't see any.
Like you're just playing against the odds. And it doesn't mean that the guy is 6'3" and 230 pounds is going to last forever either. I mean, but your odds are different. Like that 30 or 40 pounds of difference is a big deal. Like it just is. I mean, that's why Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft, because he's a little dude. Okay. And that happens sometimes. Now, look, Bryce Young is still not dropping out of the top. He's not dropping out of the top 5 or whatever. And so you say to yourself, how good is he as a player? And if he's significantly better than the other guys, you take him. Like if all your measurables and things that you look at that distinguish a quarterback make him significantly better than C.J. Stroud and Will Levis, you take him. But if it's close, you're taking the bigger dude.
You have covered this league for such a long time. Is Aaron Rodgers the most hated quarterback in the history of the NFL? I mean,
no, there's some other guys who look. There are other. Jeff George was not exactly Mr. Popularity.
But if this guy was Jeff George or Kirk Cousins, Green Bay would not tolerate this.
Of course not. The league wouldn't tolerate it. But he's not. He's Aaron Rodgers.
No.
He's Aaron Rodgers.
He's first ballot Hall of Famer. He's probably unanimous.
I would think. I don't know why you would vote against him. Okay, he's a schmuck. All right. I mean, I voted for other guys that were schmucks.
Yeah, but it took you a couple rounds to get around to T.O. to voting for him. T.O. was a tool. Would it take you 3 times to get to him?
3 times. I don't feel bad about that.
I know. I know you know.
I don't feel bad about it. I mean,
Can you imagine Jason going, I'm going to let this guy sit here for a little bit because of the toolbox he is.
I got no problem with that. I mean, I will say this. You know what's funny about T.O., and this is when I did my survey of 400 people, which I don't know if you were part of at the time.
I am.
But you are now, certainly.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the time that T.O. went in, the first year that T.O. was on the ballot in that, he finished 8th.
Oh, my God.
Think about that. That's how
and
much
you
of
got my peers. You got some of my peers on that panel.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of guys who played with him, knew him. Like, when you're a wide receiver, you just can't crap on your quarterback as many times as he did and expect that people are going to support you, and it just, it's rough. Now, Aaron's getting into a point where you're sitting there going, are you about winning or are you about you? And I think it's clear it's him. He's about him, but he's still an amazing player. I mean, he's still one of the
as well as anybody in the history.
Yeah. And T.O., for all of his numbers, I don't think T.O. is one of the 5 or 6 best wide receivers of all time. I think he's awfully good, and he played a long time at a high level. But I think there were guys who were. I mean, look, Randy Moss was better than him. Certainly, Jerry Rice was better than him, and I can make an argument. Calvin Johnson, I think. So, now he's not far removed from that group.
No.
He's probably, I'm saying he's not 5. Yeah, he's probably 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
But like, he doesn't jump off the page and make me go, oh my God, like there's no question in my mind, he has to be in. Now, he did everything and got in the Hall of Fame, but he also bought his own delay.
You know what, though, Jace, every time I think of Rodgers, though, I think of the Pope. And I think of the white smoke coming out of like that like dungeon that he was in this last week. It's like the Pope signal, but instead it's pot smoke or it's out of a hookah. I don't know, man. I'm like,
you play with some dudes like that, man. Yeah.
I'm no comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Hey,
bada bing.
Yeah, bada bing. Let me throw this at you here.
Kevin Gogan, bada bing.
Hey, how about this? Daniel Snyder, does he own or not own the Commanders by the time the start of the season comes around?
Does not.
Wow, really? You think this is moving rapidly? The owners' meetings in Arizona, I think, are next week. You think they vote his ass out?
No, they're not going to vote him out. They're just going to get a buyer.
You think it's Bezos?
No. Although, I don't think he's going to sell Bezos because he thinks Bezos has run him out. And he'll take somebody else's $6 billion, right? But
you think it's Johnson, the BET owner?
No, he doesn't have enough cash for this. He'd have to put together a group. There's going to be one of those guys who puts it together. And at the end of the day, the league may say you need to sell to Bezos and may force his hand. But this latest thing that ESPN came out with yesterday, people don't understand how significant that is.
He charged the Commanders $4.5 million to put the logo on his jet,
and he took a salary of $10 million annually. As like he did some things to his partners that are just.
Did he fudge the books too? The revenue books that they all supposed to share in?
Supposedly, like there's a lot of stuff. Like if I was the Players Association, and I go, I want to take a really good look at this stuff. Like what's going on?
Can I give you a name?
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Allen.
Well, and Bruce, sure, Bruce, but look, this goes beyond Bruce.
No,
okay?
Bruce is sending this to all these outlets because he's got all the emails.
Oh, this story did not come from Bruce. I don't think this story to me got filtered through
DOJ.
I think through those limited partners, because
Oh, okay.
limited partners.
Funny, the limited partners that the NFL allowed him to buy out.
Right, those guys lost $2 billion in this transaction. Would you be a little bit ticked off?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Plus those documents, like Bruce Allen doesn't have access to those court documents that were filed between those parties. So this didn't come from Bruce there. This one came from much higher up, from people who are amongst this whole group, because they basically had made sure the feds got those papers, right? Like, that's how I view this. This is ugly, and it's ugly not just for Snyder in terms of cheating your own partners out of money, but it's kind of ugly for Roger, because if he signed off on a falsified loan.
Oh, no question. Final question for you. Derek Carr, where do you think he lands?
Probably the Jets when it's all said and done. Although
they would be formidable with him in there, I think they would.
Yeah, well, I think
they'd be formidable there.
Yeah, I would say that, New Orleans, Charlotte become the next ones down, that kind of thing. But look, I think the Jets step up, because I don't think the Jets want to do both pay the money that you have to pay to get one of these quarterbacks and pay the draft pick compensation to get Rodgers. And here's the other thing. Like, if you're the Jets, it's going to be hard enough for Derek Carr in New York. What is it going to be like for Aaron Rodgers in New York? Now, he may actually play well. He may play well just to spite everybody. That's his MO. So you might even say, let's do it. But God, it's going to be so uncomfortable. Like, those media sessions between him and the New York press. Wow,
would be legendary. They'd be. This would be a dream for me. So you don't think he ends his career in Green Bay?
No, I think they kind of would just be happy enough.
Oh, I would love him to be in New York for the Jets press conferences, and he'd be the most famous Jet since Fireman Ed. That would be great.
Because there are no other famous Jets other than Fireman Ed.
There's no famous Jet other than
Namath.
Namath, Klecko, the Green Lantern, and Fireman Ed. And I like Fireman Ed more because he bangs on his own head.
Yes, he does. He has
Jason, thank you, brother.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you.
You got it, man. That's my friend Jason Cole. Yeah, I forgot Jody McDonald too, man. I forgot he's a big Jet guy, right, Tone? He loves the Jets. Why would you love the Jets? Fireman Ed. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.